Welcome back to another EQX Survivor League Fantasy Talk. We are now in week 3. I hope you guys are pumped because I am so excited. The football season is in full swing. Fantasy season right along with it. I'm sitting on top of a 1-1 2-week outing for myself. My incumbent team over here isn't doing quite so hot, which is unfortunate. But I have hope. Always have hope. So to start this week, I'll let you know that we don't have any special guests this week. Sorry about that. You'll have to muddle through with me. Just didn't quite have time to get that sorted out. Next week, however, we'll get back on track. Also, this episode should be a little bit shorter, just because I want to keep these down to around below 20 minutes. So we're going to take a look at the injuries, notable injuries from last week, specifically Tony Romo. A 70-point player 1 week going down to now a 0-point player on the bench. Get the hell out of here. However, the Evil Empire, who owns Tony Romo, also has Big Ben, who, when not out in college dorms partying and getting into trouble, is out on the field throwing for a bazillion touchdowns and a bazillion and a half yards. So, no big deal there. There's not going to be a lot of drop in production for the Evil Empire. He doesn't have much to worry about. In fact, he now has an easier decision in throwing out Tony Romo as trade bait, possibly in the future. Someone who's looking at a playoff berth, who maybe needs to upgrade at quarterback. Well, he now has Romo in his back pocket, and alternatively, he could save him for exactly the same reason for himself. Also, another note for the season is, where the hell are all the trades? Where have the trades been? Usually, by this point in the season, we are at 13-page columns of how this specific trade is unfair, this guy's getting screwed over, this guy's screwing this guy over, and how everybody's feeling pretty butthurt. But this year, we haven't had any of that, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. It's a lot of work sorting through the drama. But actually, as of last night, we do have one specific trade coming out of, you guessed it, the Evil Empire, picking up Dion Lewis of the Patriots in exchange for Golden Tate of the Lions. We've got a situation here where Dion Lewis is going to be catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. He's shown it that he can do it. He's up and coming in the Patriots locker room, so he's going to be good. Very likely going to be a starter on the Evil Empire. And then Golden Tate on the other side of the coin. You've got a number 2 receiver on a throwing team. And you've got the situation where he's proven that he can be the number 1 guy if Megatron does go down. So very, very high potential for both of these trades for these guys. So good luck to both of you. And you know what? We're going to bust right into how everybody performed last week. Let me get this pulled up. Okay, so we had myself versus Rome Wolves, which is a very close game. It looks like it was the closest game of last week, and I had picked myself. Good job. Because I won by 10 points. Yeah. I pulled it out at the last minute because Andrew Luck decided that he was a bad quarterback this year. Good going. The next matchup... Also, sorry, Creamer. I know that one hurt a little. Also, the next matchup is Take Off Your Pants and Jacket versus the ATL Falcons. We have, in the ATL Falcons, one of the underperforming teams this year looking to improve, as I noted earlier, through trade. So he's hoping to pick himself back up from this week and move up in that win column next week. We have the dark horse of the season, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, who everybody scoffed at his draft, including myself, scoring 242 points. What the hell? Basically, you have Gronkowski out there acting like a quarterback in fantasy terms, picking up 50 points every damn game. So, he's kind of making us all look like fools in that regard. He picks up the win. He is now 2-0, I believe. It's pretty damn impressive, sir. So we have last week's guest and reigning champion for the season so far, Hope Solo Sex Slave, scoring 176 points, a far cry from his 264 last week, which is unfortunate for him. And it didn't seem like there was a lot to do with injuries or anything specific. It seemed just an underperformance by his players this week. So we have Asian Persuasion picking up the win, who I picked. Thank you. Going into the Mile High Militia versus 99 Problems game, we have 99 Problems scoring 225, which is just better than what he has been scoring, versus Mile High's 258, which is about average for him so far this season, 2 weeks in. But we do have Mile High Militia picking up the win, which I also predicted. So far, he has been a juggernaut on the season. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he is our current points leader. He has an excellent bevy of starters. However, he's lacking in depth on his bench. So, as long as his guys stay healthy, I kind of feel like he's going to be sticking up there at the top. Another one of our top leaders is the Evil Empire, scoring 238 points. He's moving up to 2-0 this week over Deflating Ain't Easy, who had scored 199. He needs a little more oomph in his guys. His guys need a little more oomph. Ain't got enough coffee. They got to get coffee, some steroids maybe, a couple of hookers and blow, and then he'll be doing great. Moving on, we got Levies on a Plate versus Word to Your Meemaw. Word to Your Meemaw taking the top spot in points this week at 268. Prove me wrong. I kind of felt like he may be an average player this season so far. He's disappointing me. Letting me down, man. Not letting me climb up over you. Levies on a Plane, our current lowest scoring dude. Come on, dude. Don't be such a dude. And score some more points. He definitely needs to pick up some trades, get some trades going, pick up some free agents, do something. He knows he has to do something. I picked him last week to win this matchup because I assumed he would get in there, make those trades he needs to, and he knows it. We'll see if he does it this week. All right. So I went 4 out of 6 in my predictions, so not too bad. Better than last week where I went 3 out of 6. We'll see how this week goes. Moving on to next week. All right. Week 3, we've got myself versus Mile High Militia. It's got me scheduled to score about 236 points versus his 282. Which is absolutely crazy. A lot of those points, he's hitting so many bonuses. His players are just playing lights out right now. Specifically, Antonio Brown scoring almost 200 yards last week. Insanity. But I am picking myself to take this week down just because one of his players is going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. Antonio Brown's going to break his fucking leg, and he's going to be out for the game, and all of his other players are going to have the flu, and somebody's going to get syphilis, and somebody's lungs going to fall out, and none of his players are going to hit their bonuses. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Deflating Ain't Easy versus Rome Wolves. So, another guy I had written off as mediocre for the season was Rome Wolves. He very nearly took my head off last week. Likely should have, but he's proving me wrong as well, showing me that he's definitely a contender. He's in there. And it feels like a lot of guys are really in there this season. This is a close matchups. So we have Deflating Ain't Easy looking to score about 205 versus the Rome Rules 215. I'm going to have to go with Rome Wolves this week, actually, over Deflating Ain't Easy. It's likely that one of these guys makes a major pickup, does a trade, something's going to happen in somebody's roster this week. We'll see. But for me, I'm going to go with Rome Wolves. All right, on to Pants and Jacket versus Asian Persuasion. Asian Persuasion, I have picked him twice this season to win his matchups, and I have picked against Pants and Jacket, I think, every single matchup. And we ain't changing that, folks. We're going to go right back to it. Asian Persuasion to take this week down at 262 points versus 238. He's got the players. He's got the will. He's going to do it. Evil Empire versus 99 Problems. We've got a 272 for Evil Empire, looking at a 202 for 99 Problems. And I kind of see it playing out this way, even though 99 Problems did score relatively well last week. I think the Evil Empire just has a little too much firepower on his roster, and I'm going to go with him to take it down this week. Hope Solo Sex Slave versus Word to Yo Me Mao. 274 versus 221. So this is a huge swing, absolutely huge swing in points predicted versus what was scored last week for Hope Solo. It's almost 100 points. It's over 100 points. Almost 100 points. But Hope Solo, I'm going to actually go against them. We're going with Word to Yo Me Mao to take this down. We have he's just, I think he has the players to do it. Word to Your Mima definitely showed this week that he can score plenty of points. Whereas Hope Solo kind of disappointed in that area, in that whole area of players going out on the field and doing stuff, and then him getting points. It just wasn't there. So, moving on, we got Levies on a Plane versus ATL Falcons. Two of our lower contenders in the season so far. Who is going to be the one to pick it up and actually make the decisions they need to make in order to get back into contention? I'm going with ATL Falcons to do exactly that, seeing as he's already picked up on the trade market. He's doing something. He's getting out there. He's not staying stagnant. He knows he's got to get something going. Also, it's looking like a 168 versus 258 for ATL Falcons, and I got to agree with the predictions so far. So those are my picks. For this week, since we don't have a guest, I asked you guys to go onto Facebook, send me some messages, who you think's going to win. 4 of you guys did respond, and we had one of them pick every game a tie except his own. I'll let you figure out who exactly that was. So, for your guys' picks, we had me taking the Bayou Battalion versus Mile High Militia, 2-1. Thanks for your belief, guys. I believe in me too. We had Deflating Ain't Easy versus Rome Wolves being the closest matchup. You guys decided this was going to be tie. It was a 1-1 decision, so don't know who's going to win that one. All right, Asian Persuasion taking down Pants and Jacket 2-1. The Evil Empire winning his 2-1. Hope Solo Sex Slave taking down Word to Your Mima at a 2-1 decision. And then the ATL Falcons taking down Levies on a Plane 2-1. All right, so those are our picks for this week. I hope you guys do awesome. I know I am. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the big board of seasonally type stats. Right quickness. We've got Mile High Militia going 2-0, Evil Empire 2-0, Asian Persuasion 2-0. Take off your Pants and Jacket at the 4th spot at 2-0. Word to Your Mima picked up the win this week. He moved up to 1-1. Hope Solo Sex Slave dropped down a spot. He's at 1-1 with 1 loss from last week. Myself at 1-1 because I picked up the win versus Rome Wolves. Thank you. Deflating Ain't Easy sitting at 1-1 as well. He is he dropped his match last week, but he's had a lot of close matches, so we'll see where that goes. Rome Wolves is sitting at 0-2, although it is very easily that he could be 1-1 or even 2-0 right now. 99 Problems, but a Vic ain't one, sitting at 0-2. He did not have a big point differential, so it's likely that he could be right back up in contention for the middle spots as well. ATL Falcons, he has started making his trades. He knows he's sitting on an 0-2 season so far. He wants to get back up in there. He's doing it. Levies on a Plane, also 0-2, takes our last spot, only scoring 340 points. He needs to get in there. He needs to do something. We'll see if he does. All right, gentlemen. That's about all the time I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good luck in week 3, and I will see you next week.